Ta-da! And we are here. Welcome. It is November 14th, and you are listening to Astrology and Alchemy with hosts Sarah and Matthew. It's
Hello.
mid-November, Matt. How has it been treating you?
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, but I can't see
My
you.
video went out, and I don't know why.
Welcome to...
There we go. That was very weird.
Oh.
And it did again. What the hell's going on?
This is very normal Paranormal Sarah stuff. If you guys are joining us on the live cheese, what was I going to say? On the live feed on YouTube, you can see us. You can see our beautiful faces as we talk to you live. You can chat live. You can share your thoughts and predictions with us as we go along in the astrology. Or if you are listening in like Brandy or Chet or Pepper or John or Matthew or all of those other people in the chat room, you might be on the Paranormal channel on YouTube. You might be on Paranormal Sarah's things on Twitter or YouTube. You might be on Subspace Radio. You might be on Odyssey Radio. I'm not sure where you are.
Yeah, it switched to my other camera for some reason. So hang on here.
Well, and Matthew has been sharing he's got some strange paranormal things happening in his home. So I'm just going to sit back and let him keep all that paranormal stuff because I don't need any of that over here.
At least y'all can still hear me. So
you absolutely we can. And I know that people joining us on social media, they have been lively and wildly out there joining in on the chat room and kind of sharing how they feel about different movements of the moon. We had a new moon in Scorpio just a few days ago. Maybe you're still feeling it. I'm wondering how those of you out there listening, how did it affect you? How did you feel it? Did it change anything for you, Matthew?
No. It's just been I'm sorry. I'm like half distracted and trying to get this to work. No, it's just been life is normal.
Chaotically normal. He's untouched. Matthew, often untouched by the water energy. Welcome, Mary. Welcome, Ty. I hope I'm saying that right. It's so good to see you guys joining us. And please do feel free to share. You know, this is how we share our fun and our love for astrology and alchemy and tuning it into the paranormal. I know people from Nationwide Paranormal are joining us tonight, which is exciting. People online that want to learn more about how to incorporate science and spirituality. And I would say astrology is a really good avenue. If you're out there looking at crystals, meditating about chakras, thinking there's something to 369, you might be an astrologer and you just don't know it yet. That's okay. We'll let you grow into it. Okay. Get out your pieces of paper. I really do hope if you are joining us in the chat room live and you hear something that needs to be added or you have a suggestion to what it is that we are putting on there, please chime in. That's how we make our updates for those people on social media throughout the week to have the most like chiseled word for word suggestions for what to expect throughout the week. And for those of you joining us, you know, I do work with people one-on-one for their intuition and like mentoring individuals through neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis and different ways of fine-tuning, I say sharpening, whittling maybe your intuition into something more usable and focused. There he is, back in action.
I'm back.
Glasses.
We'll see how long this lasts.
Sharp.
That was very weird.
It's going to last. Don't even say that. And a little bit of what we do here on the show, I think, is a taste of what we do in private sessions because we're just kind of using this energy and describing with predictions. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Put it in the chat room. Text yourself. Send it in an email if something speaks to you, please. See how that makes you feel and keep in tune with that. So maybe you were like Matt and didn't feel a darn thing for the new moon in Scorpio, or maybe you were like me and felt like I need to take bags of things to the thrift store. I need to open up the windows. I need to vacuum. I need to stay up for 48 hours and just clean because who knows what to expect. I was actually in Hobby Lobby today and all the lights went out.
Oh, really?
it was a really weird experience because, and I don't know if this is maybe I shouldn't say this, but I looked around and I thought, this is how it starts. This is how it happens. Like the apocalypse happened. And you know what? All the old ladies and their squeaky little carts, they just kept moving through the aisle. Someone didn't pay the bill. And they're just still putting yarn in their basket, just scooting right along. Nobody moved out of place. Nobody moved.
Sarah would have her version of The Stand, but she's stuck in Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, it was in Hobby Lobby. And I had a handful. I won't say it out loud because I was, pre-Christmas shopping and whatnot. And so I had a handful of something over here and a handful of something over there. And I thought, dang, these were on clearance. I'm not going to come back for these, and they're going to be gone if I do. And I don't think the registers are working now. But if it's the end, I'm taking these. I'm just walking out with them. What are they going to do? But then I couldn't because I was like, it's not the end. I wouldn't be so lucky as to be in Hobby Lobby where no one's armed with anything short of crochet needles. I don't know.
Do they sell magnets at Hobby Lobby?
Yes, they sell everything at Hobby
I just saw this very interesting DIY. I actually want to try this. You take a bunch of different magnets, different size and different strengths, and you have like a box and you have little cutouts and you arrange the magnets in a certain way, and it supposedly generates tons of energy, and that can like let entities feed off of it.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe it, but I was intrigued by it. I'm like, that's something to try.
I want to do the little copper pyramid on my head and see if I can get better thoughts. Because the vitamins and supplements and spinach salads aren't cutting it, guys. Anyway, here we are. Welcome to Astrology and Alchemy. Man, if you're listening to the first time, God bless you. Okay, tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, and it's going to be the 15th. Maybe payday for some of you. Whoop, whoop. Maybe it will be. Is it going to be astrologically payday, Matt? Well, it's the only thing happening tomorrow, unless someone corrects us in the chat room, and let's put it in there so we can look at it. Mercury in Sagittarius, sextile. Ooh, sexy. Sextile. Venus in Libra. What says you?
Well, Venus is money, so could be good for payday. Also, romance. Sextiles removing obstacles. So you got Mercury, thoughts and communication in Sagittarius, which is very exploratory, wants to try new things. So this is very thoughts and communication. So this could be people trying to feel things out, kind of verbally exploring and eliminating obstacles to romance in Libra, which is very diplomatic. So I'm going to say this could be where some people possibly on the kind of hitting on energy could be acting in a way not their normal diplomatic self, trying to get reactions out of people. And then go for business too, since Venus also means money. So it could be people doing some uncharacteristic business discussions or business proposals.
Money, 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 money.
Or you could have some people act, people that maybe are interested in you acting in a way that they normally don't, trying to feel you out, see if it's reciprocal.
And it's that Mercury, really, when I think about that, it's that communication. Anytime I see Mercury, I think of messenger. Who are my messengers? Spiritually speaking, I think of Hugin, Mugen. I think of ravens, birds, blue jays, cardinals. I think of all the little things that make me think of a sign. Someone this week shared, Danielle shared, white feathers or black feathers, divination with clouds, all sorts of signs and synchronicities. And so write down immediately what it is that comes to your mind. If you're listening, something pops in there.
I'm going to derail really quick here. That Hugin Nugan, I had never heard that story, and I don't know if there's multiple ones up there in Minnesota, but I traveled to Minnesota a fair amount, and near where I would stay, there is a sub shop named for that, and there'd be the different characters from the books. Is that like a chain, or is that just like a one-off? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, and we have a lot of red ravens and black ravens and chains of like cafe novelty stores. And I I think it's just the prose edda and the Viking culture and the Scandinavian culture. You know, there's all kinds of like Odin and Paul Bunyan. Um,
You can make they make good subs. So if there's more than one of them up there, it's worth going to.
it's worth going to.
That's a regular when I'm staying in downtown St. Paul. That's a regular stop of mine. I go get a sub.
Man, that's so crazy that you, and I love it that you do that too, because there's these old little wild things that if you just don't know to go to them when you're there, you'll miss them. There's also a little curiosity shop in St. Paul that I always go to that's just really cool. Yeah, and I always wonder if I'm saying it right, because I know there's like a silent G and someone's gonna jump on that in the chat room. I can already feel it in my bones. So if that's the case, sorry guys,
I see it. I watch a lot of YouTube channels that talk about different things going on in different countries and stuff, and they're always apologizing over pronunciations. I honestly don't apologize. I do my best, and if I butcher it, I butcher it so much. And it's because I grew up having a last name that got butchered by everybody, so I'm not particularly apologetic about it. It just is.
well, and it's like you've got the yeah, I'll try my best, and I appreciate the etymology of things, but it's like thought and memory, and even those two can be deciphered as we grow. But thought and memory. So who are your messengers? Write it down. What do you think? Who's bringing the owl? Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. There's been a lot of owls lately. It's that sign. What do we think? Mary says, man, I am not familiar with that, but there is a lot of Viking heritage up here in Minnesota. That's true. And man, now I'm going to have to go next time I'm in St. Paul. I'm going to have to go. Pepper said, sub, where? So you guys, what do you think? Write it down. If you're joining us, write it down. If you're being secretive and witchy, write it down in your journal. What does it look like for you tomorrow? This is the only thing happening. If you are like some of our friends in the chat, you use this as like financial, upticks, just being aware of where the movements are. They're taking Mucinex off of the market. Is that the word I want to use? I think they're I don't want to say recalling it, but it's coming off. It's coming off the market. There it goes. Mucinex. And so when I think of some of those things happening and how the pharmaceutical companies will move into cold season tomorrow, that's money.
My thing is there will be a surprise business or economic announcement tomorrow. Maybe some company goes under that you didn't expect, or some company is going to buy another company, or that's my gut. I think it's going to be some kind of big merger or something. But there's going to be big, unexpected economic news tomorrow.
Well, the European Union passed some of their preliminary in Parliament. So I'm not exactly sure how all of that stuff works over there, even though our system's based on it. Obviously, I would think it's but it's not. They're getting a digital ID in the EU. And so when that passes, that digital currency that comes with it, that will have to require people, man, if you're homeless or if you're one of those good old boys that just doesn't want to have to get a phone, or you're disabled and you can't operate, or you're a felon and you can't have those things. There's going to be a lot of people that get kind of segregated out from that. And man, that kind of gets to be that's going to happen tomorrow. Some word of that'll move around. Ooh.
It's funny. I feel like we're all moving backwards, because what's going to happen is, everybody says about, if you go digital currency, you don't have cash anymore. How are you going to pay people under the table? We'll just go back to bartering. And, with all the transportation and all the rules coming in there, I think in 20 years or so, people aren't going to be traveling as far as they are anymore. So it's all going to come full circle. We're all going to be in these little local Little House on the Prairie communities, and we'll be bartering for,
I kind of hope so.
I'll trade butter for milk or something, or,
I'm going to have coffee. I'm going to have ashamels, honeys, tinctures. I've already got my goldenrod, choke cherries, all my jams and jellies. Some of them are poisonous, so just so we're clear. I would like to think that I'll be in.
So who do you sell the poisonous jellies to?
People we don't like, of course. Make that be a rule to you. No. Just to have it. I think it's important to have I don't know, all my witchy ancestry thinks it's important to have a poison garden. But, you know, right? Like Sally and The Nightmare Before Christmas. Have I said too much already? Maybe I should just
Yeah.
stop talking.
Poison garden. That's interesting.
Someone in the chat room said Sarah. I know, right? Okay. I be too candid. I'm being too honest. Okay, guys. So that's tomorrow, Wednesday. And that's really the only thing happening tomorrow. Now, Thursday. And this is why it's interesting because we share this often. We've done this show for years, and we have seen some of those patterns. We've seen some of the things where when we say that Thursday, there's no movements really. The moon is waxing, out of, see, it's coming out of Scorpio. So it would be, it is waxing into, where does it come out of Scorpio, Matt?
Go from Scorpio to Sag.
So then it would be the moon is waxing in Sagittarius.
Or the joke from last week, Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. It would be, and so the moon is growing. Our emotions are rising in the air of that continued explorer, but that would really be the only thing. Do you think there's anything to that lull, or just mentioning maybe that the moon is?
I'm wondering if
Sagittarius?
I'm not somebody that's got years and years of experience in this. I'm just wondering if we're in this phase where we're not seeing certain angles because of where all the planets are. You have a whole bunch kind of clustered together, and so I'm wondering if that's minimizing, because you get a lot of the the square is a right angle, and then you have the trine is 60 degrees, and sextile I want to say is 45. I might be off on that.
And I've got my little
but,
moon.
If they're all set up in a certain way, we may just be in a time right now where it's harder to get those angles, and that's why we're not seeing so much.
It is harder to get those angles. And I often think too that the great span of that wheel that spins, because it is a big pattern, and it makes me think, it honestly makes me feel like I'm listening to like a 60-minute Claude Debussy classical album from beginning to end. And that you start and you have 12 tracks, and it starts and it goes high and it goes low. And we're going through these zodiac signs, and the planets are all spinning through them. And some are a lull, and some of them are a little bit more high pace, and some of them it brings your mind to like a battle scene, and sometimes it's more peaceful. And the astrology and timing of the universe right now, and the way that some of these planets are and the constellations that they're sitting in, we have these moments of rest. And I think that it's like respite for the growth and transition that's happening in the stretchy spaces. Because there's a lot of major life change happening right now until the beginning of next fall, when revolution is supposed to be upon us. Right? Mm-hmm. You shake your head, but
I'm dreading
right?
It. No, I'm dreading it. The combo, though, I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's 26 when it's not until Neptune goes into Aries and Pluto's in Aquarius. Then I think the shit hits the fan.
But these rest periods for that great gearing, it's like an ice bath before going out on to take them out on Friday fight night. It's just the preparatory space. It's the rising time of that story or that central nervous system. And so we have these kind of breaks, and I say take them. I say, if you look out at your almanac and it says, hey, it's nothing but a soup day, take it. Why not take that rest and relaxation? I don't know. It's hard for us. It's hard for me. But I hear it. And so I tell people to do it. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'll do it. I'll do it if you do it. And so we'll do it together. Thursday is a rest day for Friday. 1, 2, 3 things. Did I just repeat it? Did I repeat it? I don't know what I did here when I wrote this out, because who knows what is going on here. But Friday, there's 1, 2, 3 funky weird things happening.
All right,
So,
let's hear them.
first funky weird thing. And they're all kind of similar. So this is somebody playing like My Guitar Gently Weeps. It's got some sharps and they're similar here. So the first one is Friday morning. Boom. We wake up. Thank God it's Friday. Mars. Uh-oh. It's the fighting planet. Where's it at? And Scorpio. Oh no. Trine, Neptune and Pisces retrograde. Oh no! I say that as a social worker, someone working with people. Neptune and Pisces is always pushing people overboard. But what do you say, Matt, when you see that combination?
Neptune's like dreams and delusions, and Pisces is kind of introspective. And I always say it's the last sign. It's kind of like this deathbed perspective. It's sacrificial. It's more giving to others than worrying about yourself. But you got Scorpio, and Mars is action. And Scorpio is intense, but you don't know what they're going to do. They have a great poker face. I feel like this is action having synergy with this, delusions, self. So I feel like it's going to be action based on bad information. And the person taking the action is willing to sacrifice themselves to do this. So this could be kind of bad. I see this as, I'm kind of aligning with your social worker thing here. I'm seeing some self-destructive behavior on Friday.
Oh, anything but that.
People are going to be doing things that probably aren't in their best interest, but they kind of don't care.
Yeah, because all this stuff's going down. People in these big life changes, some of it's teetering. It's on a meniscus. It's on the fulcrum. It's in the middle. It's the house of the rising sun with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And people playing the hokey pokey. And so if you have enough people go, come on, John. Come on, John. Come on. And they do that. Eventually that person's going to give in. Do you know what I mean? Gosh, dang it. Don't do it. They say, if they tell you, Pepper, come on. We're going to do all of our finals today. It's finals. Let's go out and get a coffee and we'll go down to that one downtown. And you go, I don't think I want to go downtown on a Friday because then I could get late. I could get stuck in traffic. Come on. We want to get those cannolis and it'll be good luck for our final. Don't do it. Mm-hmm. People are daydreaming about cannolis. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is Friday. 2 more things happen. Throw another one on the fire. Oh no. What is it? A Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon.
This is simple.
Now you say that. Then you got the sun. The sun, middle of the galaxy, our galaxy anyway. So we need it. Got to have it, but don't have too much of it. It could kill you. In Scorpio. Oh no. Conjunct Mars in Scorpio. So we're double downing on this Scorpio energy with the sun here. What does this mean for you?
So it's combining the energy, and all I'm going to say on this is just reinforcing that self-destructive action. It's going to seem like the right thing to do. So you may think of, should I do it in the morning? And then as you get more into the afternoon and the day moves on, it's like, yeah, this is a good idea. People are going to be doing some things that are people are going to be acting against their own best interest on Friday.
What a good neurolinguistic study, I would say, for those of you in the advanced mentoring. I would say on Friday morning, it's going to be life purpose versus interest or intent, that earth energy and fire energy. What is it that is your intent and your interest? And then what is the life purpose and what is your purpose? Your purpose. What is it that you're out there actually doing?
Global stage too, because there are going to be bad decisions made on Friday.
About what? Global decisions about?
It could be a lot of things. Could be Middle East. Could be multiple players in the Middle East doing something dumb. Could be our government with the budget and all that stuff doing something because it's the deadline on Friday, so they could do something dumb.
Dumb.
Like you don't get a shutdown, but they fire another speaker. Who knows?
We are getting pretty bad out there.
Bad decision Friday.
Bad decision Friday. Bad guy liar stuff. Be careful. Let's put on the cherry Friday night.
This just further, since sun's your outward self, this is just all three of these are basically the same thing, and they all reinforce each other.
Yeah. Friday
Sacrifice,
night.
is something that's going to an action that's actually not in your best interest based on bad information. You're willing to take one for the team when you didn't have to.
Pushed upon you.
Oh, I got a great analogy for this. Well, it just popped into my head, so I'm going to go with it. I hate the ending of this movie, but do you see The Stand?
Yeah.
It's like the guy like shooting everybody in the. Spoiler alert! If you didn't see that movie, it's like the guy shooting everybody in the car, and then he exits the car, and the army comes and would have rescued everybody if he just waited 1 minute. It's that kind of energy this weekend. Sacrificial, but it doesn't need to be done. It's based on bad info.
There's a band out of Russia, I believe. They're popular in the 90s. Two young girls, Tattoo, Tatu, Tattoo. And they did some songs that were they had one that was not popular, did not ever get radio play, called 30 Minutes. 30 minutes to change your life. 30 minutes to walk out the door. 30 minutes to say you're sorry. Like 30 minutes. I'm really getting a sense of that music specifically. Talking about global stage stuff. Who knows how that might pan out. We talk about how some of these things get sandwiched in unique ways. I wish we had some of those boisterous astrologers joining us in the chat room to add, because unless you have something different, Saturday I have no movements. A day of rest.
We went like a whole year and a half without a single day with no movements, and now we're getting a lot. So I still say it's the arrangement kind of around the whole circle of where everything's at.
Up, down, up, down, up, down,
good.
up,
Take
down.
that day and look at, my advice to everybody is don't make big decisions on Friday because but you can turn around and you can analyze and see what other decisions or things happened on Friday and realize that a lot of those were probably bad moves or bad decisions. So
watch, listen, learn. Pay attention, or pay in pain, as we say in hypnosis on Friday. Really take an opportunity to just watch people, look at what they're doing, see what's going on. Saturday, don't feel like you have to do anything. Doing nothing is also doing something. Oh, okay. Then we have, and I'm going to say, because Matt, I know we don't really do this. We don't really do this. A lot of astrologers and people sometimes joining in on the show will say, why don't we do more asteroids, baby planets, little red planets? Man, I don't know how I feel about that. And it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot.
I feel it's like somebody that weighs 400 pounds going to the gym and doing wrist curls. It's, it's it's little minor tweaking things that when we're doing a big show on kind of general macro energy type things, it gets a little bit into the weeds.
It does. But
it's small, much like the moon, which I know you're bigger on the moon than me. The moon's fleeting, and that the energy doesn't last long. The asteroids, because they're kind of far out there and everything, they have an impact, but it's smaller.
It is small, but just so that you know, on those days, guys, if you're listening and joining in, on those days where it says no movements, nothing's happening, I just can't believe it. My little Sarah human, something out there, looks up at the vast stars and goes, what? You're telling me there's nothing out there I can't learn or look at or expect to see? Like nothing? What? Like I just can't. And so I scour the internet. I scour my Farmer's Almanac, and I reach out to other people and say, there's got to be something happening, because these no movement things after these big shifts and these knowing the timing right now with Pluto and Capricorn and whatnot, I think what's happening? And someone says, well, okay. I mean, I guess there's this little thing
Well, the
happening.
other thing to keep in mind too is we only do like the major angles. I mean, there's smaller angles. There's oh god, quincrux, and semi sextile, and
Let's get into geometry, guys.
I'm going to butcher the names on them all. So
We're only doing right angles.
but they're small. They're smaller ones there, but it's the same thing. These are like
we're doing squares and triangles.
These are
We're
like
not doing
very
hexagrams.
subtle, like fine tuning type things that I'm not sure when we do it. I think it's more important if you're doing like an individual reading on things when you're talking about big major shifts and things. I think those things are harder to see.
They are harder to see. But if you're a master astrologer, you're wondering where, and you're like me going, there can't be nothing happening. Show me what I can learn. We'll mention it. So this Sunday would otherwise be another day of nothing happening. Wah, wah, wah. But we're going to say something is happening. What is it? And what might we be able to say about that? Well, Palas. Is it Palas? Payas? Palas? Again, we don't know because I don't hear it talked about all that often.
This is all you.
Well, it's based on Athena. So if we're going to, it's the third largest asteroid. So we talked about asteroids. So in our asteroid belt, we've got these, mostly German astronomers discovering them here and there. But you've got Ceres out there, pretty popular that people talk about. But the Greeks were already talking about some of these and mentioning them, and they're named after some of these stories. And so the goddess of wisdom, Pallas, Athena, out there floating around. But what the heck does it mean? Or what does it mean if that, third largest asteroid is flooping over into something in your chart? Well, it's supposed to be about your wisdom, but about your talents of artisan justice, like Athena, of your defense and intuition and wisdom and poking people. It's kind of your inner Xena, if you will, your inner warrior princess. It shows where you are about, how to navigate, strategize, and ultimately win a situation. And when you say, I give you an offer, I can't refuse. You can't refuse. This is kind of relative to that manipulative female goddess energy, and it's in Scorpio.
Yeah. So the other piece I saw here is the negotiations, and so this is the thing now. Scorpio, great poker face. They don't show their cards. So what Scorpio intends to do with that intensity and what they are telegraphing they're going to do isn't the same thing. So this is people are going to be I guess basically just not showing their cards in negotiations and probably not being upfront and honest on things. So remember that.
The week
if you have
before
any
Thanksgiving.
questions about, is this person being honest with me if I'm negotiating something? They're probably not.
They're probably not. Guys, and that's Sunday. This is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So should you bring the pistachio pudding, or are you going to bring the potato salad? Probably not. But no, it might be something bigger than that too. It could be something on the world stage, the national stage, the state stage. Minnesota just sent out their childcare prices, and the average price for daycare for 2 children in the state of Minnesota is $3,200 a month.
Wow.
So there was that. And so people were kind of starting to get all crazy and riot and get saucy. And there's also for the whole city of Minneapolis, which you figure is like, it's like 1 million, just shy. It's like 875,000. We have 573 working officers. Minneapolis police officers.
Okay.
573. That doesn't seem like enough.
Mm-mm.
Right? It's not. We're grossly underread. So anyway, I think about these things. Sunday, Palas. Why would we even mention this going into Scorpio? What negotiations? And just to mention it, just to think about that, how might that keep you connected to the universe? On Monday, here's your dot to add in your journal. Here is your thing to learn about. Monday. Ooh. I say that if you're listening, Sometimes I it's not that I forget about you if you're not watching the chat, but if you're just listening, I want that suspense. Who could it be now? If you're watching it, you already know.
This
Because
is worth, before I give my analysis on this, is worth the long pause. This is a big one.
This is the big one. So over a kind of a crazy weekend, or what should be expected to be a crazy weekend, it may not feel like a lot's going on, but not only is it Mary Beth's birthday on Monday, she's a very active listener to the show, so happy birthday, Mary Beth, but it's also going to be a big day for everybody. Essentially, the sun in Scorpio, sextile Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto, man.
Pluto's always big. So whenever
Always.
you see something in Pluto, it's going to be significant. It's very large scale, unlike, the moon, that's much more emotional and much quicker. Pluto things are very big. Pluto doesn't give a crap. But why I say this is like doubling down on big, it is you have Sun in Scorpio. So, kind of the outward strongest energy, and Pluto and Capricorn. So you have the two most intense signs. I'd say, emotional intensity versus more extroverted, accomplishment intensity. But there's a whole lot of intensity here. And sextiles, again, removing kind of obstacles. So Pluto's a big change in Capricorn. So that means a big accomplishment, big achievement. And again, Sun in Scorpio, we've talked a lot about Scorpio. It's quiet, it's intense, it's not telegraphing its moves. So I view a big shift. This is where Scorpio actually makes their move, and everything's going to align to make it, and it's going to change things big time. So I don't know exactly what it's going to be, because I will say, some will say this might be a cop-out, but, we don't get the specifics a lot of times, but we do get, I'll say, I think it was a Pluto shift on October 7th when the attack happened in the Middle East. And, nobody saw that coming. This is going to be the same kind of thing. There's going to be some big move that some player is going to do that's going to change the landscape. But I'll just say, look for something big on Monday. Big news Monday.
The landscape
hoping that terror attack here, but that would be that kind of thing. That is what I'm thinking about.
It is. And when we mention some of these, like, military movements, I think about the stages of change. So, Matt and I, obviously, this is not what we do for a living, though we are professionals at it. You can buy a reading and we will sit down and work with you and walk through your chart with you and explain and expand everything to our best ability and give you our interpretations. But, Matt does, what might we say safely, international engineering, and, myself working with sex offenders and crisis response, nationally and internationally. I think looking at this in a worldview scope is important, because astrology affects us in those ways and helps us kind of have a macro, micro perspective. Oh man, throwing stuff. I'm getting so excited. And worldview is one of those things that we measure, like, in my case, for an offender, if they're getting better in treatment or not getting better, what might we say is one of the things they can do to increase getting better? Have a better worldview. Have the ability to look outside of yourself, have a different perspective, empathize with someone else, or at least just be able to, hypothesize from different landscapes. What might it mean if you didn't have any of this? Well, what if you didn't even do this? Well, what if you did that? Because people, will do that with their offense or their crimes. Or what if I did? Then oftentimes I think in America, we are, well, if I was a Kardashian, or if I was rich, or if I was this, or if I had that, or if I was Travis Kelce, or if I was all the stuff we're bombarded with, just kind of kept up here. But also, like, there's another end of that spectrum. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Pluto and Capricorn often humbles us. So I think that this is, Monday. Landscape changes.
Something change. I'm not saying the whole entire world, although sometimes it can be that big, but some situation will be very. Whenever you're talking Pluto, like after that movement, some situation is entirely different than what it was before. Pluto movements are big.
And then I post this and then I look at, so Tuesday. Then that'll bring us a full week. It's hard to believe that that'll be the full 7 days. We will be time travelers at that point. We will be next Tuesday. I love it that you have creatures.
my
That's how we
son's-
know you're live.
That means my son's home from work.
Yay.
Oh,
He says he'll mute it right now. Just while they're alerting us. They're alerting us to the person. So Tuesday, that brings us a full circle from today. And next Tuesday, after some of these bumps in the roads, these big ups and these big downs, highs and lows, Tuesday, Mars is going to be in Scorpio. And that's going to be sextile Pluto in Capricorn. So that's another Pluto and Capricorn movement. So it's like one right back to back. And man, when anything facing off with Mars or sextile Mars, anything with Mars, strumming together in a tune, galaxy hymn, I think, oh man.
So now I think whatever happened Monday, there's going to be a big reaction to what happened on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the rebuttal.
So yeah, Monday too, it's going to be big stuff. So this is like, I don't know. This is like, I'm just using an example here. You know, Iran does something major to us, and we decide we're going to like launch a whole bunch of missiles into Tehran or something.
Oh.
That kind of like, there'll be a big move on Monday that like, holy crap, we didn't see that coming. And then the response on Tuesday will be like, holy crap, we didn't see that coming. And yeah, so Monday, Tuesday next week is going to be very interesting news-wise. And hopefully all the news will have broken by the time we're back on Tuesday and we can all talk about it.
Well, what's interesting about this is break a leg is the Farmer's Almanac motto for this day. I laugh, a witchy laugh, an evil, villainous witchy laugh. That I get paid for my witchy laugh like $1.62 a year, by the way, because I did an animated child's book where I'm a laughing witch. So that's cool. I can live on that. But the the laugh is break a leg, because it says this is a day of high energy, high drive, high stamina. Do anything to get the job done. Go ahead, give that presentation. Get out there, pull the trigger, and break a leg. Sounds like a Truman Show advertisement, doesn't it?
I don't know why, but since this is Mars and everything, my gut's really strong that this is going to be like a war-related thing.
For sure.
Somebody's going to make some big move on Monday, and then there's going to be I didn't see that counter move coming, and now we're going to be in like a shitty situation come Wednesday.
Counterstrikes, getting lucky, breaking legs, pulling triggers. And when I say this, I think about this linguistically as well, guys. When we say that out loud, or when you read that, or when you look at that, or when you know that the sky is kind of rippling out these familiar patterns, and we say, oh, no, it's a bird, it's a plane. And we know that a certain generation of a certain people of a certain culture are going to respond with a third thing right then. Or if I say rock, paper, blank, I don't have to be psychic to say, I bet I know what they say next. But in a certain view, you are psychic. So this like perspective here, this, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Yeah, we do. Yeah, you do. You do know. And so if you take that step back and use that worldview that you get on Monday, we're even going to get it a little bit on Friday. When you look at how this week pans out, we're going to get a little bit of these tidbits going into it. So for anybody doing national politics, anybody doing national news, anybody chiming in on those stock market, cryptocurrency changes, Bitcoin fluctuations, or just patterns of human behavior with wartime efforts, it's going to be Thanksgiving.
I don't know why I'm getting this gut feel. Maybe it's because it is close to Thanksgiving, so you can just disregard this all. I just figured out that could be the subconscious thing. But I was getting vibes that like turkey's going to be one of the ones does some wild card thing next week.
Ooh, turkey on
and
turkey.
Now that I think about it, that might be too corny because of the holiday next week too. But And I was trying to like
Hey.
tap in and go, where do I see something weird coming from? It's Erdogan and Turkey.
You never know. You can't throw anything out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I
I
appreciate
know when we do our experiments together, I'm always like, I should have spoke up because that's what that's what came to me. So I'm going to say that they're going to be involved somehow in this wild card thing that happens Monday, Tuesday.
Well, and I really appreciate I appreciate our viewers that often will send little clips or blips or video catches from our week before where we say something, we predict something, and often it is. And this is how you know this is the validation that we need, and this is the, the magic that you're seeking is in the work you're not doing. That idea that journaling it, speaking about it, writing it down, having the courage to go up to someone, touch their shoulder and say, hey, this is what I've got, something to say to you. This is a message that came to me. You have to put in that kind of work, that humiliation, that courage, the statistics, those failures, the risk and the reward, which is going to be a heavy theme this week, I think, for people. What are you doing with this risk reward conflict resolution space? Is it worth it? What are you doing with it? Is it worth it? And it's always those things that we say under our breath that we didn't even think. We didn't overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
You just dissociatively streamed it. And we said, burp, 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 and it happens. It's really cool. It's really cool. So I'm always thankful when you guys, the listeners, send those in, and Matt and I get the opportunity to share those with you. And it also helps me feel more confident. Hopefully you guys too. Each week when then we have those predictions and you think, man, I know I feel crazy saying this, but I'm going to say it because that is how intuitive sharpness, works, guys. Come on. People asking us how to do what you and I do. And it's just practice. Practice. So what do you have to say for the whole week as a whole, Matt, looking back on it?
Pretty quiet until Monday, Tuesday, and then big crap Monday, Tuesday. Well, it was that bad decision Friday. So watch, people are going to make bad decisions on Friday. Hopefully that's not related to what happens on Monday, Tuesday, but big stuff Monday, Tuesday.
Bad decision Friday.
Really watch
Bad decision Friday.
Watch the news Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I think bad decision Friday is going to be even people like, Joseph Biden. Even people like that make bad decisions.
I feel like because it's the 17th, I'm kind of thinking it could be the budget thing and something that like they're either going to tank. It looks like it's going to fly. They'll just keep things open for the rest of the year, but they're either going to tank that or people are going to get mad. They're going to fire this new speaker and then everything will be in chaos again. It's just, I don't know. I just feel it's, what's the word? Unforced errors. People are going to just do dumb things that they didn't have to that are going to hurt them.
I like that. Unforced errors. That's a really good way to look at it. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. And unfortunately, I think, daggone, this is how it's going to be. I enjoy it, guys. Someone sent a private message and said, do you actually find this personally helpful? So yeah, I'll go ahead and throw that out there. That's not a criticizing or condescending question. I think it's really honest. Yeah, I really do find it helpful. Because in these areas where, say, for example, something, really crazy does happen on Friday. Maybe I'm, who knows, I won't say, but I'm having just the best day ever and something just slightly off happens. And instead of immediately thinking, shame on me, which may or may not be right. People may not love that I'm not so selfish. I immediately think I'm the cause of something. But that removal of self to be like, you know what, maybe this is just another way that I'm connected because I remember even saying that something like this would happen today. Mm-hmm. So
I use it to keep my eyes open on it, but it's not like I make stock picks based on it or anything like that. It's not, to that extent.
And people do though.
No, I don't.
I know. Matt, they do though, and they're good. Okay, some people said, do they have time to pull a card? How much time do we have? We are at 45 minutes.
I got Pepper's card.
Oh, you do? You've got Pepper's card already? Okay, so hold on. I gotta shuffle the deck. I gotta shuffle the deck just a little. Okay. Oh man. What do you have?
2 of Wands.
Okay.
Ooh.
Right. What? Okay. So 2 of Wands, you go first for Pepper.
Well, I always view 2 of Wands of like if you see her like in between these 2 posts, which are the wands here, it's like decision time. So you have a decision you need to make. And I would say it's related to her card.
The Hanged Man, which is a major arcana card, suggesting, man, the only thing you're killing's time. Look at you. He's not hanging by anything. Maybe his Achilles heel. He's just looking at the tree saying, hey, what do you think? And so the Hanged Man is you might be, how do we phrase that? You are being too patient, maybe.
Yeah, I view it as, you're stuck and you got to make a choice, so.
Make that choice, Pepper.
Make a choice, Pepper. All right, Brandy asked for one, and then I think we should each do one for what's going to happen Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
All right,
so
I got
Brandy.
All righty. I got the Fool, the first major card. 3 of Cups. So I'll say on mine, this is the first card. So this is kind of the journey. So I would say this is a new beginning, a new path for you related to.
You can see it there. The 3, anytime there's that 3, odd number, trifecta, it's a celebration, it's a collaboration, but it also could be a third wheel, could be a baby, could be an addition, but it's not going to be, it's like first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby. It's that third edition. Sometimes people see this as like maybe someone's getting a little sick. Ooh, baby sick. But 3 of Cups would say that it's a relationship thing. Definitely a relationship thing.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to. I have a usual go-to on that one, or but it's not in every situation. But I wouldn't want to say it in this format. So I'm just gonna let it go. Sorry.
Right.
Let's do our Monday too. Let's do our Monday, Tuesday.
So Monday, Tuesday. What we see of the world.
I don't want Death or Tower, and I will say that I didn't pick either one of those.
Okay, what'd you pick?
But it's still not a good one. 7 of Swords. What did you get? The World.
Right, which I don't know if that's any
better. I take that as the World. I take that as this is something very, very, very big. And 7 of Swords is kind of, it's not the card of defeat, but I always view it as kind of like the card of loss. You've left something behind. You've lost. Yeah.
Well, and I think 7, I think of a gamble. I definitely think of an odd number, been trying to be lucky and trying to make a choice. And when you're going to pull that lever and hopefully it just lands on 333. But when I think of the World, and I love it because she's, oh, boss, look at the guns and look at the things. And it's that this girl, you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I mean, for real, this is that Forrest Gump scene where he just goes off running because he just felt like running. Because you're tired and you're so exhausted of the way things are, but you're actually willing to just run with a beard and just poop down your leg because you're that willing to make a change that you'll make a change in that way. And so the World, I feel like it's the world keeps on spinning. As the world turns, and hopefully you can take something from that. Hopefully you're able to put on a show with that. Hopefully you're able to just go, you know what, here we are again, growing pains. And
I had it wrong. 5 and 10 of Swords are the defeat cards, just of different degrees. 7 is the thief card, something that's taken from you. So I put that, big scale, having the World, somebody's going to take something from somebody else.
Who's it going to be?
It's going to be big.
It is going to be big.
It could be abstract, too. It could be taking your security. It could be taking money. It could be taking...
I'm excited.
I still think it's in the Middle East.
It might be. So, you guys, this is what's exciting about doing these shows. We tune in every week, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That way, if you're just kind of checking it out, you're not sure, you want to see how things pan out. It's like life, the episode. Tune in every week to see how it comes to fruition so that we can apply the astrology of what it is that you see outside. And if all the lights go out and all the electricity just pew, you'll be able to go out and connect with your ancestors and be able to see what's going on in the world today and tomorrow. Brandy says, come on, thank you both, but I'm 54. It ain't going to be pregnant. It ain't going to be babies, but it could be. a baby. It could be a fruit. It could be a live living thing that you have to take care of for the rest of your life. Be careful, Brandy. And
Yeah,
no.
I just leave it this way because cups are relationships. It's emotion and it's relationships. And so I always look at a 3 of cups as it's emotions and relationships with 3 people. So
Yeah. Could be the
Third,
nanny.
like you mentioned, third wheel, or there's an imbalance there.
Gavin Rosdale, I can't believe you did that. He did. Anyway, you guys, if you want to see how the astrology of this week pans out for next week and be prepared for the week after that, tune in on Astrology and Alchemy. That could be on Subspace Radio, Odyssey Radio. It could be your favorite paranormal channel, the Paranormal Channel on YouTube, or Paranormal Sarah. You can find us there, or message us privately. Get a hold of us. We can do a private reading for you, doing a new moon special right now for $44. So get a little message from Matt and I for this new moon in Scorpio and all the jazz happening out in the universe, and let us know. Otherwise, guys, we're going to see you next week. Let us know what you think, right?
Yes. All righty. I'm not even going to do the video here. We're just ending. So have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.